Hello, hello. Hello. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Feel like it's been a minute. Wait, well, when was the last time I streamed? It's got to be over a week. Let me look. Let me take a gander here. Last time, wow, 13 days ago. Jeez. That's kind of wild. All right. So, we're going to be checking out the new grinding spots here in Land of the Morning Light. And we're also going to listen to Choice's new video that he just released. I guess he talks about the in-person meeting that he did with Pearl Abyss, him and Divios. So I'm going to be listening to that during this hour as well. Let's see. Okie dokie. Oh yeah, also this spot is actually really cool. Like, you literally get a bunkai. Like, that's kind of what I think of, like the 200% bunkai. I've been here, so I guess this will be my third hour. So, oh gosh, I haven't streamed in a while, so hopefully I don't get bombarded with follows. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Hey, I appreciate all the follows. Thank you, thank you. All right, so oh yeah, also, so I finally did get my awakening weapon to Tet. So got that to Tet. I changed out my light stones for the all-out attack. Also changed out, or added 2 of these so far. And didn't even know these were a thing. Let's see. Yeah, okay, yeah. This is the one that we have. All right, let's see. Yeah, it's like catching up. 13 days worth of people subscribing. Maybe I'll give it a few more seconds. So kind of the whole idea with this grinding spot. Let's see. It's actually not bad. I mean, it is kind of, wait, did I spell that wrong? Oh, HON. But it's kind of dependent on these drops, right? And honestly, it seems like the 85 million ones drop pretty frequently. The wands, I guess that's what it's called. Is it the wand? Yeah, the wands. So they drop pretty frequently. I haven't got this yet. The Faint Origin of Dark Hunger. I haven't got that yet. You get a lot of Ancient Spear Dust, decent amount of Kaffir Stones. But kind of the whole basis is you kind of go to this one grinding spot, and it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. But while you're killing them, you'll like a blue, like, so after you kill a boss or an elite, a blue flame will appear, and essentially you just want to like tag that. And then once you get 3 flames, then the little, I guess, 9-tail fox will spawn, and you can kind of just chill for like maybe a 30-second period. I actually never really timed how long you can chill for, but it's pretty cool. And then randomly sometimes the other, I guess, black fox will spawn, and that will give you like a 200%, which is really cool. Dog's going crazy over here, licking herself. Okay, yeah. So this is the one right here. I think this is the one, or is this the one? I don't know. For some reason, they're both Shift Q. All right. Let me make sure I have everything repaired. We'll put my scroll on. Shop. Buy. This is probably kind of overkill at this spot, but it is what it is. 4. Oh, I already had 3 apparently. Let's see. Okay. I tell you, it is it's a mission trying to get every buff. Make sure you have every buff checked. Usually just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. And then this right here will be 7. I'm not going to use the Perfume of Courage because I don't need to. It's a waste of money. All right, let's check. All right, I'm going to hit play on Choice's video.
Yo, what is up, guys? I'm bringing you a brand new video, and welcome to the long-awaited recap of the meeting I had in person at Perlibus North American headquarters. Essentially, me and Divios had the opportunity to get invited directly out there by the leadership of NAHQ, and we got to speak on a lot of different topics, a lot of things that we brought up, as well as questions that they had individually for us. And it was...
I'm going to turn that up a little bit. Let's see. 13, 12. All right, we'll try that.
What's up, guys? I'm bringing you a brand new video, and welcome to the long-awaited recap of the meeting I had in person at Perlibus North American headquarters. Essentially, me and Divios had the opportunity to get invited directly out there by the leadership of NAHQ, and we got to speak on a lot of different topics, a lot of things that we brought up, as well as questions that they had individually for us. And it was a really, really nice sentiment to actually fly out to people from the partner program in order to speak directly and give our feedback directly to them. It actually shows a lot of essentially commitment to wanting to listen to feedback. We know that feedback has been a little bit of a pain point between a lot of our feelings here in North America and Europe, and portraying those over
feedback is huge.
And this was like a step in, I think, in the right direction to show that, hey, we actually do care and we actually are listening. So we'll see if a lot of what we spoke about does start getting implemented into the game. But we did leave a lot of feedback on what we thought would be best. And this feedback was something, it was a document that essentially me and Divios had curated and created for about like 5-6 hour meeting. And we sort of put down bullet points. And then I spent another 6 hours like on the plane, just editing it all together and making it all good. I'm going to spare you guys the 13-page document. I will link it in the description.
13 pages.
But I'm basically going to be summarizing everything that we spoke about, talking a little bit about what they spoke about. But the original video here was supposed to be 90 minutes long, and I had already made this and finished it like last week. But they wanted to review it, and there was a few things, actually a lot of things, that they didn't really want me to say. And I guess like the feelings of one
That's
person cannot exactly
that's kind of
be
sketchy.
the feelings of the entire company. So maybe some of the things that the people we spoke with said, maybe those are their own opinions, and it's not like it's factual or whatever the what's going to occur in the game. So I think certain things they just didn't really want to mention. I will say that I did leave the entire meeting feeling like rather positive about the whole thing. So even though there are things that I can't necessarily say, I wish I could, but just know that, hey, I didn't have anything negative to say in the 90-minute video either. But all I can really do is summarize the things that we spoke about and the feedback that we gave and give you guys an idea of the setting of how everything went. So the meeting itself lasted from 10:30 a.m. all the way till 6 p.m. There was a small block of about 1 hour where
Bro,
we got to
10 to
play some Dosa
6.
Desert, and then there was also
Good
lunch that
gosh.
we had,
They went
and we got
hardcore.
to also speak directly during lunch as well in a little bit more of a less formal manner. And overall, we got to talk about a lot of what we wanted to speak about regarding feedback that we had brought to give them, and they had questions individually that they wanted to ask to us. A lot of the questions that they asked to us, except for like a couple, were already included in the document that you'll find linked in the video description, which I'm about to summarize. And overall, we spoke mostly about the general game. We
Yo,
didn't
what's up,
talk
Alex?
too much about individual classes. We talked about strikers and shies a little bit, but and then succession magus. But other than that, we really didn't speak to the individual class level, and even those discussions around those three classes were rather brief. To give you guys a
Well, I mean, there's so
idea of
many
the setting, there
classes.
was
Like, how are
about
you
six
supposed to
Pearl Abyss
talk about every
employees. Three
single
of them were
class?
translators. The one main individual that we were meeting, he only knows Korean, and he is essentially, I guess I
Hope you're
can't
having
really say
a
who
good
he
night.
is, apparently, even though it would be really nice if I could. But he is the new COO of Pearl Abyss North America. We got to speak with him, and he was the one who originally had invited us out to the actual meeting itself. And the actual like cadence of the meeting was rather slow due to the fact that everything that
I
we
didn't even really
spoke
know
had
that
to
the
be
previous
translated to
CEO
Korean and then said to
of North
him, and then
America
same thing on the
until she
reverse on the
left.
way back into our ears. So it was a little bit slow in the meeting, and that's why, we had the entire day to do it. There were certain things in this document that we did not get to speak directly to verbally. However, the document itself was then translated by them into Korean, and that's something that they are going to now review. So hopefully it's going to make change in the game. I feel like it was a great step forward to invite us out directly in that way. So I'm looking forward to and hoping that a lot of what we spoke about is going to make some good change. So to give you guys a bit of a summary,
Hopefully.
I'm going to go into talking about this, what we spoke about, in a very broad fashion here. Um, I made a very professional document, my university degree going hard here, even though I just became a Twitch streamer. But basically, this is what got translated. And to give you guys a summary of what we talked about four main things, which was lack of progression via PvP content, lack of gameplay progression for PvE players, meaningful progression for most life skills, and then also the feedback channels between NIEU players and Korea. So to give you guys
I
a
think those are
little
all
bit
good
of the
points for sure.
idea of what we were speaking about in regards to lack of progression via PvP content, what we were essentially saying, and a large part of a conversation that we had, was talking about the fact that in the past, you used to be able to get gear, and your reward for getting gear was the ability to PvP because
Yeah,
gear cap content did
exactly.
not ever exist. You had
Yep.
RBF, you had open world, you had node wars, all of it was uncapped. Over time, now we have capped PvP. There's not really a lot of
I don't
incentive to move up to
mind
that uncapped
I don't
PvP.
mind cat
So a
PvP,
large part of what we wanted to say is that there
but
should
there's got to be a
be
good blend.
basically a progression path where you can earn gear through PvP to eventually graduate up into uncapped PvP. Because right now, there's very little room for growth for PvP players to eventually do uncapped because they can't make money doing cap content. And a lot of people are not interested in grinding or spending thousands of hours essentially doing things in Black Desert to then go in PvP when they can just PvP in the capped settings. So we spoke about the main four pillars of cap PvP. We talked about the Arena Solaire. We talked about the future hardcore servers that are going to be coming out that are essentially gear capped in their own sense, very limited gear progression. We spoke about the cap node wars as well as cap sieges. So to give you a summary on the idea of what we had is basically they need to make it where things like Arena Solaire and the hardcore servers, they should really earn up to at least 1.5 billion silver per hour based on your particular skill level and your, in the hardcore server, it's going to be your ability to grind, get gear. All of the money that you earn on the hardcore
Dang,
server and whatever bonus rewards you get for
one
hardcore server
billion.
should translate back to an account to help that account get geared. Or it should just like go directly into your central market, just like on a normal account, such that you're
I mean, I
able
definitely would
to
incentivize it for
make
sure.
progression in the open world capped PvP setting. Same thing with AOS. AOS is a repeatable thing. And during the season, I feel like players that reach up to Solar Incarnate, they should get up to 1.5 billion an hour because they show exceptional skill. But the average amount of money you should make per hour is in the 1 billion, 1.5, 1.2 billion type range for very, very good PvPers. And that is sort of what we were pitching. Because if you have two forms of unlimited progressionary PvP, that means you can go on the hardcore servers whenever, you can do AOS whenever. This allows you to get
More
gear
freedom.
to actually move up into uncapped.
Allow
Similarly,
you
for
to kind of
Node
do whatever you
Wars,
want.
we said that basically Node Wars is great in its reward system, but it is time limited. And a lot of people don't really like the reward of getting, say, a extra bit of monster damage or an extra bit of drop rate bonus from Siege. It feels like those PvP rewards are just rewards that say, hey, you're done your fun, go grind now. I feel like PvP should have its own progressionary system where you don't feel like you are incentivized to be, oh, I'm a PvE player, but I really want castle buff. Or I'm a life skilling player, I really want these life skill bonuses for doing Node Wars. It's basically saying stop intermingling PvP and PvE to like force and bait PvE players and PvE and life skill players into PvP when you could just have the reward
separate
for the PvP players that like it.
Yeah.
The PvP players can get rewarded, get geared, and then eventually they can do the next content, which is the uncapped PvP. And there's things like War of the Roses. There's things like uncapped AOS coming out. There is the Arsha channel revamp that we spoke about. And there is the like uncapped Node Wars.
I'll be honest,
of course.
I will
And
never
just
do
generally,
uncapped Arena of Solaire.
said RBF. Like basically all of the things that are uncapped are really
Like I feel like Arena of
players
Solaire has
because
to
players
be
don't want to go there just
gear
to get gear time. They
equalized,
would rather
or I
sit
wouldn't play
in
it.
capped content and just have an equal playing field, and they're never progressing out of there because they're not making any money. So it's a way to add progression through those four activities to move up into uncapped PvP. This document has a lot of suggestions on how to improve Solaire, how to improve Node Wars, how to improve Siege Wars, how to improve RBF. But basically, the gist of one of the major improvements of this content is things like rewarding RBF and rewarding these game modes similarly as well, but better than cap PvP, such that you have your means of making money through AOS, but then you also make more money through uncapped AOS. You make more money from Red Battlefield than if you were to do capped AOS, because now you're going to have an actual progressionary system moving forward where cap players can get 1.5 bill that are exceptional, but exceptional uncapped players are making 2 billion. So it just
1.5 billion
your gear up steadily
That's a lot
along the way, such that you're able to make more money and progression through PvP. And these sort of ideas that we were presenting are very, very easy fixes to current game economies, right? Right now, you could say, oh, we need a bounty system, or we need a ton of content to replace this, or we need more PvP game modes. These are the quickest fixes to get the game back on track and bring back a lot of players that are really upset at the current way that the game is. Revive uncapped content and do it in the simplest way possible, such that it doesn't take a ton of development time. That was like a huge factor in a lot of feedback we left here.
Time to
Obviously,
chill.
in a perfect world, it's
oh
like,
wait, hold on.
The PV section, yeah, release
Not
16
yet.
new raids and release a bunch of dungeons and release all this other stuff, and we want a
All right, now
it's like
should be time to chill.
Like a decade of updates. We can't just say, yeah, do all this stuff, but we can talk about what could really help right now in the fastest way possible, so that way their players can get happier right now while they work on future content, because we know what's coming out with things like Altar of Blood and the 100 floor dungeon thing.
Dude, they've been saying Altar of Blood for like years.
Like stuff like that, right? So keep that in mind when you're if you do read through this document. So that was essentially a recap of the PvP section, is making it where you can actually make good progression through capped PvP, so you can get geared enough to do uncapped PvP, and then in uncapped PvP, you can continue to get geared so that you never feel like you're forced to go grind to get gear. You always have a guaranteed non-time limited outlet to make progression through PvP, as well as time limited outlets like uncapped and capped PvP through Node Wars and Sieges and War of the Roses that also gets you pretty good money. Another
Figured I'd
major
send a little
thing that
heart.
is really worth talking about is the anonymous Arsha channel and Arsha. Basically, this channel I feel like needs massive
Oh,
buffs and
it's
can bring
gone.
back a lot of the drama. An idea that we had is basically making it where Arsha has complete and utter 350% drop rate bonus, so you don't have to pop your loot scroll anymore. You don't have to pop your tent buffs and stuff. You're just PvP ready all the time, as well as
I like
creating
that.
Agris hotspots for 2 grind spots over 700 gear score at any given rotating time, such that there's 2 spots at any given week. And those 2 spots are kind of like the Arsha PvP event, where these zones are so good to grind that they're sort of indicating to players like, hey, this is where all the PvE
Yeah,
players want to be.
it's the
This
hot
is where all the
spot.
guilds want to protect their
I like
grinders.
that. It's like a
It's
little
going to create
event
a lot
thing.
more interguild conflict in these particular areas where Digital tries to protect their grinders, Corrupt is trying to, harass them. It sort of will create a lot more drama and interguild conflict, which can really spice up the scene. So I like those ideas a lot in order to make Arsha better, as well as this main thing, which is having PvE and PvP gear on simultaneously, because that's kind of an issue where you get ganked, you're in PvE gear, you can't defend yourself, and nobody's going to let you go through the loading screens to swap your crystals, even though it takes a couple seconds, but then you got to switch your offhand and your artifacts and all this other stuff. So having simultaneously PvE and PvP gear on the same time would be really nice.
That would
But that
be
was
a
essentially the
huge
gist of the
quality of
PvP
life
section.
change.
I could talk at length about everything, but you guys can read through it if you're particularly interested. A lot of
No
these have
choice. Read it
things
to me,
sort of
dude.
fix
Please,
War of the
please read it to
Roses,
me.
fix things about AOS.
Give me all the
Just
juicy
generally good
stuff.
ideas, I think, to help the content be a little bit better. And then in regards to the lack of gameplay progression for PvE content, the main thing that we spoke about with this is saying that, hey, in PvE, we don't have a lot to look forward to. Right now, you are very time limited on what you can do. We've got things like Land of the Morning Light 2, where you can run it for 45 minutes and you're done. You got Ataraxian, you run it for 45 minutes, you're done. You've got the Land of the Morning Light Part 1 bosses, 45 minutes, done. So basically, if you play this game for more than 3 hours per week, you pretty much run out of interesting PvE content to do, like immediately, and you're then set grinding again. And so, what this section sort of spoke about was saying that we're kind of just grinding to get gear to then grind to get more gear. And it's
For no
really not
reason.
that satisfying to get like 100 extra trash loot for getting an AP upgrade instead of unlocking actual new content or actual new exciting things to do. So, what we were sort of saying in this section is that we need more inspiring things to move us forward in our gear. When they come out with the Altar of Blood, for example, which is a wave based horde mode type protect the tower system, there needs to be really, really difficult waves that scale all the way up to 800 gear score that make some of even the top players really struggle unless they know what they're doing, because that type of stuff is going to inspire you to want to get more gear, because it's like, hey, I can't do wave 20. I can only do wave 16. And that way there, it'll help
Incentive.
you get better, help you feel more geared, and potentially even just locking you out of that content altogether so you have something to look forward to. Because right now at 730 gear score, you hit 730, you're going to Deolins 2. That's the highest grind spot in the game. They're coming out with the new Dark Seekers at 760 gear score, but 760 takes a quarter of the time than the amount of time it takes to go from 760 to 800. So for players that are far in the end game, they have nothing to do once they hit 760 because there's nothing new to unlock. And then players that are reaching high levels of gear, they're reaching their goals so quickly
like 7
that they then don't feel
29.
like, oh, so you're telling me that when I get to 730, I unlock a new grind spot, which feels very similar to the old grind spot, and then you unlock some other grind spot.
I'll never get to 760.
Very, very similar to the last grind spot. There's nothing really new in terms of content that you're locked out from, and basically talking about how locking people out from content is not taboo behind a skill cap or behind a gear cap, because that makes a new player have something to look forward to and a actual value in getting gear. Right now, the difference between me and somebody that has literally 20% of my gear's value is that I make an extra 3,000 trash an hour. Whoop-de-doo. You know what I mean? So it's just sort of talking about how they need to make more content that is both repeatable in nature for PvE, as well as something that is actually scalable, that it doesn't just cap out at 730 and then all of a sudden you have nothing really new to do. But a lot of that is spoken about here. And then we talk about some of the general sentiments that a lot of people have regarding gear in the game for PvE, as well as what people like. Pretty much a lot of people are saying they're kind of overdone tower spots. We would really like to have Elvia Medaya. The variety of things to do, this is what I've already mentioned. Gear progression wise, it feels like they've released a lot of new gear lately. And so we basically said, hey, tone it down on the gear releases. People are kind of stressed out with 6 new accessories and 2 new weapons. Alchemy Stone system, we mentioned that being horrible. I talked about that at length. We talked about the cron system quite dramatically in regards to like upgrading your gear. We spoke about the Karazot accessories, how those were really, really good because it lowers your cron requirements and spends some of the money on fail stacks instead. Overall, had nothing but positive things to say about Karazot for the most part. And then we also spoke about Sovereign Offhand, making it a PV only offhand where you can add a crystal to it, kind of like Karazot, just giving him a little idea of for the future. And spoke a little bit about Sovereign armors for the future, but basically saying like, hey, tone it down on the gear a little bit fast. Then we also
It's been
spoke
a
a little
lot.
bit about the cronstone system. Like I want to talk at length more about the cronstones here. Is that because cronstones are such an imperative resource for all gear progression? Basically, we wanted to offer them ways of making cronstones a lot better, and that's going to sort of transition into life skilling a little bit more here. But some of the main ways that we said that cronstones were so harmful is that right now players that buy crons from the vendor feel extremely taxed on their dollar because they're paying like 35% more. Cronstones really should share a very similar price to what it costs to buy a costume and extract those crons. And right now that's 2.215 million. So we really were trying to harp on that and
Yeah,
say,
but what's the
hey, this
point
should be
then?
much similar in price. Either that or make it where you can exchange like trash loot at grind spots directly for
They're
even
not gonna do that.
2.215 million for
They're not gonna do that.
crons. That way there it's not like it's something you can work towards and not feel like all your money is being taxed every single time you're spending this trash loot, selling it for
Nope, it'll
silver,
hurt their
buying
pocket
3
too
million
much.
cron stones. People can feel very unmotivated and feel time gated artificially by their ability to buy costumes, which sucks. So
It does
essentially
suck.
fixing the cron
100%.
situation. Also, getting crons from different sources. So the PvP rewards that we talked
Don't
about,
get me
going
wrong.
on to
I
Sabbath
100%
Silver,
agree
getting
with
crons from
choice,
Arena
but
Solaire, getting crons from Red
I
Battlefield, getting
just
crons from things like Node
they're not
Wars,
gonna change
getting
it.
crons from world bosses and field bosses, just adding in more ways to get crons. Kind of like how Pit of the Undying is, where you can go to Pit of the Undying and get some crons. There needs to be more ways to just get some crons here and there, such that vendor crons is not the prevailing way that you can progress in this game. And players that are doing a variety of activities are able to get them. But then players that are primarily going for just crons, maybe they can get them through one-to-one exchanges through trash loot type of thing, where you get it that at that 2.215 million value, that much worth of trash gives you 1 cron. Something like that would be way, way better than feeling like you need to get taxed hella hard on it. And then the other main thing that we spoke about, it's going a little bit ahead regarding the life skilling section here, but basically the trade system. Imagine if you could take raw resources, make them into trade crates, and then the trade crates are just efficient crons. You can actually get 2.21 million per cron in trade good value. So trading right now is not that worthwhile. It's like 10% more money from your
It's a good idea.
resources. But if all of a sudden you could take that and now you're getting cron stones at a costume level, that
I like
means that
that.
you're now getting more closer to like 40% more in value for that compared to vendor crons. So something like that could completely revamp trading and just make it where like the node system gives you a lot more resources because we can process down so quickly, make workers more efficiently able to create trade crates, and then the actual activity of trading in those crates gives you direct crons at an efficient level. Something like that, like adding in all those different sources of crons, because there's such a prevailing thing that right now it feels like the only way that you get crons is you make money, go to the vendor, spend all your money. Like that's very, very uninspiring for a lot of players and not really interested in it. So this was like a large discussion that we had regarding cronstones. In terms of the actual life skilling that we recommended, obviously Divios and I are not life skillers, but I speak to life skillers a lot all the time on stream. And I kind of have a bit of a finger on the pulse of what you guys are interested in. And I think what you guys are generally interested in is just more variety in your life skilling. Like right now, there's a lot of dead life skills. They're making some strides to sort of fix some
Yeah,
of the life
they
skills,
are
like they updated
trying to
fishing,
improve a
which
little bit
made it a
of it.
lot better. They updated sniper hunting to not be the only type of hunting that's useful. Now you got like double the head rate of things like shadow lions and I think grass rhinos, right? So they made hunting for heads like a little bit better. But overall, the overarching idea of what we wanted to say here is that if you are spending active time life skilling, you should get the same value as a grinder. So if you
Correct.
have the imagine a scenario where you have the best boat, the best gear, the best fishing equipment, maximum mastery, very good trading level, very good fishing level. Why should you not be able to make 2 billion silver an hour hotspot fishing? If you go out on the best boat, the fastest boat, you get to that hotspot, you actively are doing the mini game, you are actively moving to the next hotspot whenever that
Gosh,
mini
Twist must
game,
make some
whenever
major
that
money.
hotspot's gone.
It must make 2
You
billion
fill
an
up your
hour.
inventory.
I'm over
You're
here
on the
struggling
best
to make
horse,
1
and you
billion an
book it
hour.
down to Valencia. You get your trade buff, you trade in your fish, whatever. Why should someone that is actively working that hard not make the same money as somebody that is grinding? It doesn't make a lot of sense how somebody that could, let's say, even as silly as it sounds crazy, maybe it sounds crazy to some of you guys, but if you are actively training horse skills, if you're out there training chop, you're actively going out there and capturing horses, and you're breeding
It's
those
a lot
horses
of
and you're
time.
training those horses and you're leveling up those skills. There should be a system where you can make 2 billion silver an hour
Yeah, I
doing
agree.
nothing but horses. Why not? Because if you are actively playing the game for an hour, you should actively get a equivalent result as somebody that's grinding. It takes just as much effort for somebody to actively gather as it does to actively grind. It takes just as much effort for somebody to actively horse train, actively fish,
But
actively
I guess they
gather
can't die
Lakiatas,
though.
actively do hunting,
I
actively
guess when you're
do
actively
any
grinding
life
those
skill
high
that
grind
requires you
spots,
to
you're
constantly be at your
higher risk for
keyboard working
dying,
and
which you lose
processing
crystals.
information should require you to get with maximum gear and mastery the same value out of grinding. And in order to help facilitate that a little bit more and help out the like scaling of that, we also suggested that they should uncap mastery. Right now, 2000 mastery is laughably easy to get. Most players are just getting pen manos as a flex. People are hitting 2K mastery at Tet gear.
It is
So
weird
overall,
how that's
if they
capped.
made it where you could get 2K, like 2.5K mastery, I don't know what the max is, but uncapping mastery is a way that they could make these types of things much better and an actual progressionary system for the life skills, and making it where 1 active hour is equal to 1 active output of money per hour compared to grinding. And then for the AFK life skills, things like gathering can be 3 bill an hour as long as you're spending an hour processing down stuff through cooking for 1 billion an hour. So an hour of grinding equals an hour of cooking, and then boom, you make 2 billion an hour on average type of thing. So they can do that. And then the other life skills that are more AFK, like processing, fixing that node empire system, processing down all those materials, turning that into trade crates, getting cron stones. That's a way that you can make those more AFK life skills cascade into just crons, which is what everybody needs. People need crons for their gear. People need crons for their life skilling gear and
We
their guru
all need
gear. People
crons.
just need cron stones. So that would be a great way and get people more of a way for everyone to get more crons and get more introduced to life skilling. And that's pretty much what we spoke about in a nutshell about everything. And then we also spoke about like the idea of adding in a separate cape slot, and sort of like RuneScape where you have skill mastery capes. Well, imagine if you could, instead of just flexing, oh, I've got a deer level 2 icon because I'm number 2 hunting on my channel, you could actually have a Guru 50 hunting cape, for
That'd be
example,
cool.
that shows that, hey, I've got Guru in this hunting skill, and maybe even having, hey, I've got Guru in every life skill or in this many life skills. Here's like a sort of life skilling completionist cape, because everybody knows that cosmetics and stuff to work towards is what people
Yep.
care about. And in fact, they even added in a separate backpack slot just recently. So they added that in for the fishing item. Maybe they're priming this to occur, because you could just have a cape in your accessory back slot, and all of a sudden you could have a sick ass cape showing off that you are Guru 100 cooking or whatever. You know what I mean? Like at that point, it's
Yeah,
cosmetic
it's a good idea.
flex, and that would make it where there's an actual relevant
Incentive.
way to make money, a relevant reason to get pen manos, and a relevant flex for having the life skilling levels that you do, and
Yeah,
making it where 1 hour of
I
input
like that.
equals 1 hour of output and everything. That's sort of everything that we talked about regarding life skilling. And then for the feedback thing, we talked a lot about how our feedback is often felt like it's not really spoken about, and I think that this was a large fallout, especially in the PvP community recently. There's been a lot of, over the last few months, a lot of people have a negative sentiment regarding BDO in regards to PvP, and that is because they directly reached out on the forum and they said, "Hey guys, we're looking for feedback on the Node War system," and then they proceeded to not do anything to get the feedback on the Node War system at all. So there's obviously a very discombobulated and broken chain of saying like, hey, this should happen, and nothing happening. even after they asked for it. So it can really feel helpless that our feedback means nothing when that happens. So we kind of wanted to talk about how, if we have an extreme difference in ideals where KR and SCA and EU and NA have a very different opinion on how the war deck system should be or how node war should be, we already have differences in certain things in these regions.
Yeah.
This is not to be the first time where we have four different siege locations in North America and Europe, but everywhere else has only three. There can be differences across regions, and we basically talked about how, don't just ignore the feedback of your regions. Maybe in order to better serve a global game, if you can't make a solution that solves for everybody, you need to make custom-made, tailored solutions for each individual region, other than just asking for feedback and proceeding to do nothing with it. So that is sort of the idea behind everything we said. So to recap everything a little bit more, adding in a progressionary active way where you can make progression through cap PvP and then make progression through uncapped PvP, which is better than cap PvP, such that you have a real way to get more gear as a PvP player. Adding in one-to-one ability to get more gear through life skilling, through a bunch of different life skills, as well as adding in unique cosmetic rewards for life skills and adding in a unique way to get crons for life skillers. Generally buffing crons across the board in a whole bunch of different ways and adding more ways to do that. For the PvE section, making it where there's a lot of, maybe new regions to grind, not necessarily a bunch of new tower spots, making sure that when they add in things like Altar of Blood, add in the 100th floor dungeon, add in the Calamity 8, 9, and 10 bosses, make them have a repeatable aspect such that it's more interesting.
Yeah, I really don't mind the tower spots.
Allow you to actually play and look forward to unlocking things rather than it just being
like this is pretty chill.
That it is, and basically saying that, hey, feedback needs to be a lot more streamlined in some way. And we need to be more heard as a NAEU community. I mean, we have such a large market share and PA's actual success as a company that if it results in us needing to give feedback,
preach it,
and that feedback taken, and that feedback is only done to NA and EU, that's exactly how it should be. If we shouldn't be tailored to the less,
we are the majority
that is making the company not as successful as NA and EU. Like PA couldn't run without NA and EU. Start acting like it, basically. You know what
exactly.
I mean? So that is essentially all the discussions that we had. And this document, once again, it was translated into Korean. So a lot of the feedback, if you guys want to read directly through everything, I don't want this video to be crazy much longer. But, I did have to cut down this video already. It's already been half an hour, but originally this video was 90 minutes. There's a few things that I would have liked to talk about that I obviously can't. Some of the things
which
that
is wild
spoke about as well. When we talked about individual class balance, we did talk about a couple of problems with Shy in particular. Now, Shy is a little bit of a hot topic.
That's why I'm going to pause him for a second. That's why I never even when I started this whole content creation journey, I knew that I didn't want to be a BDO partner because I didn't want my opinion to be persuaded. And I just felt like if I did become a BDO partner, then I can't really talk in all honesty about how I feel. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the game, obviously, but I think it's important to give constructive feedback, when it's needed. And I don't want some developer or companies persuading my opinion on that. And so I felt like I never really had any desire to be a BDO partner or try to attempt to be a BDO partner if that opportunity ever arose, because I value my opinion, and I felt like if I was a partner, I would have to always be positive. It's kind of how I've always thought about
really
it.
Speak to this as much as Divios did, but Shy is the prevailing class. You can see it in the Best of Guilds 2024 in North America as well as in Europe. Every team that did well had a Shy. Every team that didn't have a Shy immediately
Shies.
And so
busted.
It's a very influential class in PvP. Even in PvE, it is the only class that you would ever take to Olins. You need one in your team. It's the only class that you'd really care to have at even Turos. Anywhere that requires...
Dude, I haven't even got my 200% yet.
Some of the things that I think are the
Come
main
on,
reason
give me my
Shy is the
Bankai
prevailing class in these locations is because of Sun, Moon, Stars. Sun Moon Stars giving you
How you
that
liking
speed
Weekend
spell
Dosa?
makes it
I'm doing
where
the same
Shy is kind
grind,
of like
about
a
same
buff
gear.
and holding your thing for 60
Nice.
seconds.
I
Come
like
back, we're
Awakening
leaving you buffs
Dosa. It's
again.
super chill.
So basically what Divios was saying, and I agree with
It's
it
like
too, is to say that,
I feel
hey,
like it's
maybe
almost
Sun
kind of
Moon
like
Stars should be a
a
passive for
mixture
Shy such that
of
their gameplay isn't
Awakening
affected on
Wizard
a personal level, but Sun Moon Stars maybe should be
and
reworked. Instead of giving speed to the player, give them healing affinity such that they're able to heal 20% more efficiently through
trying to
HP
get a class
cost.
that allows you
From
to
other
fly.
players and their
Lon.
own passive heals in their class. And
Like
that
it's
way
got
there,
pretty good
the Shy
mobility,
cannot be nearly
pretty big
as
AoE.
essentially
I
influential
like it a
as
lot.
saying that, hey, here's your buffs, you can go do whatever you want.
Also,
And
what's
you'll
up,
have to
Chaotic?
play a
Hope you're
lot more
doing well.
around the Shy because the Shy's
Thanks for hanging
heals are
out.
now more useful on you as a result. And then also individually.
So wait, are you
benefiting from the
grinding
Shy
here
kits, so
as
making
well?
their heals
This
just
grinding spot?
strictly better because their heals kind of suck right now. Making everything about their ability to support just better, so that they
What's
have to
your
play more of an active role in
what?
PvP.
How much trash
Rather
are you
than
averaging
being the
here?
class that's just like, hey, I can stand here and not die. I can play my bongos, but I can't really move around. I'm not really protected. I'm constantly on the ground. Making them have their own sort of feet to stand on, make them a lot
Also,
more
I
protected
love your
in that
name,
way, make their heals
Chaotic
better,
Tots.
and then make the buff that allows them to heal even better on
It's
top
such a
of
good
that, such that
name.
they're
I
more an
love it.
active role in PvP. And then another thing about Shy that can feel really unfair, particularly
Reminds
like
me of
Misty
Wizard, but
Haze.
with good
Misty
mobility.
Haze is
Yeah,
like you
yeah, I
pop
agree.
Misty and then you just lose your HP bar instantly. So maybe making it where Misty has to slowly tick, where it's like
Somewhere
first
around
tick of Misty
30K.
does minus 10%,
All
the
right,
second tick does minus
doing better
20,
than
the
me
third
then.
tick does minus 30, such that hey, it's something that you can play around. It's still
I've been
really
averaging like
good,
26K.
but it's a nerf to it such that hey, it is a channeled ability. It's already a channeled protected ability. You can iframe in the middle of it, but make it where it's not just an instant delete key the moment somebody hits the ground, gets mistied. Like there's very little counterplay to that a lot of the time, so that would help a lot for PvP. And then for PvE,
I think
for
that's about the
Shy, to make
average
it like
though
the
for
only
this spot. It's
non-prevailing
like around
class
30K.
at
I
Olin's
think,
requiring you to have it.
at least on Garmoth.
Essentially, losing the speed spell is already like Sun Moon Stars. Losing that already in PvE is like a pretty big loss.
Yeah, I was there when it
But
started.
then
Just got
Misty
cleaner on pools, I
Haze as
guess.
well being
Gotcha.
only like a requirement at
Yeah, this is
Olin's,
my third hour
maybe
here so
Misty
far.
just shouldn't apply to things like Olin's, and Olin's need to be just fully reworked such that you know, you can have a composition that doesn't include a Shy. Shy will still be better
Garmoth says
because it's got
28.8. Okay.
it's got really good single target damage. It's got the unique 35 DR buff or debuff. It's got the Black Spirit Rage.
So you're
that it's
above
giving you.
average.
So Shy is still going to be best in slot, but at least it's
You're a
doable
beast.
without the Shy, right? Essentially, it's just like removing that crutch of saying, hey, there's 50.
I'm always below average,
specifications of classes, but I need this.
I'm a
need this
noob.
one in order to do an AOA 30. I need this one in order to even PvP at all. Like if you don't have a Shy in PvP, you just don't have an HP bar because you're dead against any team that has one. It's essentially making Shy still good.
If only my wife would say I'm above average too.
Shy class itself, what's good, not just the fact that it's giving you Sun Moon Stars and then you go do whatever you want. That's sort of the main idea.
Oh no!
The class itself. So I know a lot of Shy players would be really upset. In fact, I'm almost upset talking about getting rid of Sun Moon Stars because I really like
that's so good.
that fast. But how do you fix that? Like that one ability alone makes it so required. Unless you give every single class in the game a passive Sun Moon
come
Stars,
here, baby. Let me show you where I'm above average in my gaming
like not having to do
atmosphere.
anything with the class. But I think it's easier to just say, hey, maybe we get rid of this ability and change it to another one, buff a lot of major healing and defensive capability of the class itself, so that it's more and CC capability of the class, such that it's a more predominant class, not because it just gives you buffs and you go out, but because people have to play with you and around you. Essentially the idea that we were going with. But we also talked a little bit about Succession Magu and what we thought about it in large scale. Didn't really have a long conversation about it. Yeah, it's good, whatever. Talked a lot about Striker too. Divios had a lot of opinions on that. He doesn't really like the Striker buffs, so he mentioned a lot of stuff about the class itself, just having a lot of SA, not as much frontal guard, makes it a little more brain dead. Stuff like that. But overall, very little class discussion other than just the Shy stuff that we mentioned. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I wish I could share more about the feedback that they gave to us on certain topics. We did
Probably should
talk
add your
about
ebuff to
some
your
things
bar somewhere.
like network infrastructure in regards to making cross server, like the ability to swap
Yeah, wait.
from
You know what?
NAEU or cross server like NAEU
Okay.
shared channels. We talked about things
You know, I
like
don't think I've been
their
activating
opinions
that.
on
Maybe that's an
PvP and the
issue.
rewards for PvP and their stance on it. We talked a lot about
Uh,
some things regarding like Succession Ranger
where
and some data from
is
like
that
Code
it?
Wars and stuff. And basically, those are like the types of things that they wanted me to omit from this video. I'm trying to think of what else that they talked about. Let me actually see here. Just so I can jog my memory. Let's see. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about like the POV of
Oh
like
my gosh.
Korean PvPers versus North American PvPers. That sort of came up
See,
regarding like maybe there should be
I'm so
individual
used to
differences
Awakening Warrior,
in the
where
levels
you just
of
I'm pretty sure
what's
you
in an
hit
A and
is it
EU
Shift
versus
E,
KR, particularly
and that
surrounding
gives you
core
your E buff.
declarations. Didn't really want me to mention that for some reason,
That's
like
sad.
what they said or what we think about that. Um,
Like I feel like I have the combo down pretty good.
let's see. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much covered most of everything. And
Yeah,
then the
I'm
other
not.
stuff that they didn't
So
want to
that
talk about necessarily was
must
like
be the
who
issue.
we met
Never use
with
my E
because
buff
it's
on
not
this
public
class.
information just yet.
That's a
So
big
maybe once it
yikes.
is public information, we can talk more about like who he is and what he represents at the
Coming
company.
in
But I
clutch.
guess all I can say
Coming in
is
clutch, my
that
dude.
going forward, I feel like the new leadership of the NA office does have a lot of influence in their ability to say, hey, talk directly back to KR and say, this is what NA is
I do
feeling.
my Z buff pretty
This is what
frequently.
essentially the person we met with, I feel that their words have a lot of weight just based on their stature. And overall, I'm feeling very positive in general about the things that we talked about, the feedback that we gave. I felt very heard. And overall, I think that going forward, I
I
want to
mean,
hope that this was the
they
first
should
sort of
feel
olive branch that was
like
reached,
they need to hear
they
you.
reached out with to say, hey, we understand
I
feedback's
mean, they
been
lost a
given.
lot
Here's
of
how it
money
should
this
go
quarter
here. But
for
hey,
not
here's our
listening.
gesture to bring you out. And hopefully feedback's going to be a lot better in the future. And I think that it's a very positive gesture. And I think that it was something that they meant as well. And I'm really starting to even see some of the feedback that we left is already happening. Like one of the feedback I said was, hey, make Decky a lantern be 1 fuel instead of 20. And that already happened. Buff a lot of life skills.
Oh wow.
I mean, we just got fishing buffed. We just got hunting buffed. Like
Wait,
some of
Choice
the
came up with
things
that?
that we were speaking to.
That's kind of
There's
cool if
actually
that's the
one
case.
other thing as well that they said that most people are really going to agree with, but then once again, I can't really say this thing again, but it's about the direction of the game. Um, but I have nothing but positive things to say about what I think they think the direction of the game, like what they would like the direction of the game to go. My personal opinion on the direction of the game is to say that, hey, once again, an hour of active input in everything should equal an hour of active output comparable to grinding. I hold that opinion, and I think that that should be existing across all aspects of the game and making
We
where
need an
grinding is not the
inspect key.
prevailing only thing that you should be able to do.
An
That makes
inspect key.
relevancy. And I feel very positively towards that discussion that we had. And I'm hoping that it's going to mean a lot in the future regarding adding in a lot more dynamicness back to this game rather than it just being, hey,
Inspect key.
grind, get gear,
What you
grind,
mean?
get gear. There's going to be
What you
a lot
talking
more, I
about?
feel, that they're working towards to actively make the game much,
To
much
see other
more of
people's gear.
a actual
Ah,
sandbox where that
yes. That'd be
sandbox
really
that you're
nice,
playing in
actually.
has an expansive area of play and a lot of progression in all a bunch of different areas of the
Yeah.
game rather than just
It's
hey,
actually kind of
we've
crazy
got
they
this
don't
sand
have that.
castle and then these
I feel
barren
I
sands
feel like
and
most
mountains.
MMOs
There's
have
going to
that
be a
in the
lot of
game.
castles in a lot of areas and a lot more just
Get a
overall
lot of
fun
players on
gameplay
about
that
their gear
leads
and
to actual relevancy and progression.
That's
Because
true.
at the end of the day, we're all
That is
MMO
true.
players and we all want to feel like our time is going towards building something, because if we didn't, then we would just play
That is
round-based
true.
games. We would just play one-off games. We'd play silly little games that don't have progression. But it feels very
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, actually.
it
That's a really good
sucks.
idea.
And we talked about it quite a bit at the meeting, saying that, hey, it feels bad when your favorite activity is making 1/10 or 1/4 or half of how much money you can make while grinding, because that can take the fun away from that activity. People
Yeah.
don't just do stuff to waste their time. If
Yep.
something is fun to do, but then it's a
Pretty much
waste of
griefing
time, it
yourself.
immediately makes it not fun to do. And so something like that is very important going forward as a philosophy and developing the new content. We try to like harp on that and say, hey, listen, a lot more relevancy and a lot more
The
topics.
cool
But
the cool thing
anyway,
about this grinding
I
spot
wish I could say a whole lot more regarding
is getting the 200%
stuff,
buff.
but all I can say is positive overall, feeling positive about the future, feeling positive about our feedback, feeling positive about where they want to go with the game. And all in all, I'm happy that I had the opportunity to go out there. And I hope that you guys all enjoyed the video. It seems like I talked about I didn't really say a whole lot because I couldn't really say a whole lot, but I hope I said enough to get you guys excited about the future of the game, because I personally am. And I hope that you guys all will maybe take the time to read the document in detail if you want to know information about the nitty gritty of the things that we suggested regarding PvP, or the nitty gritty of the things that we suggested regarding sort of anything that I talked about.
Nice. Nice. Choice is a Chad. Let's see. Anyway, what I was saying, I really like the 200% at this spot. Like, I don't know if you watch anime, but the Bleach anime with like Bankais, bruh, you use your 200%, feels like you're using a Bankai. It's so cool. Let's see. I think overall I'm holding more AP than you as well because I'm full. I was running full gen AP crystals and I run Harmony Drop Demi-Human. Probably. Yeah, let me see. Well, hold on. I'll bring up my total AP here in a second. Let me see. Monster Zone info. 1041. Let me see. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, 1041 sounds about right. Is this spot? I didn't even think to look. Is this spot demi-human? Probably should take a look at that, huh? You're also using demi-human artifacts. All right, you are definitely maximizing the potential for sure. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that's the way to go for sure. Especially since, you're over the AP cap. Stacking that demi-human damage is going to be so important. AP cap is like 850 here. Yep. Yep. Yeah, you definitely want to stack demi-human for sure. So wait, why are you at this spot? Are you trying to like grind your crystals out, or have you tried the other spot? I've done 2 hours at the other grinding spot where I think you need like what, 310 AP or something like that. Or no, actually it's more than that. I think if you do total stats, it's like 1100 is the recommended, I think. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, 1100. Because it's chill. Yeah, it is really chill. I agree. Yeah. Like I like this. Just kind of staying right here and just spawns in. You don't have to worry about dying. My DP is low at the moment for just a little longer. Gotcha. What's your DP? I feel like at the other grinding spot, it really honestly didn't seem like you needed that much DP. Like I feel like they didn't really hit that hard. Turn my music on here. $385. Okay, yeah, you I don't know. 385. You might get crushed. I saw my Atar boots. Just shenanigans. I'm close to buying them back though, which will give me 407. I have 2 full of boots. Oh gosh. Yep. Yeah, so once you get your boots back, then yeah, you're pretty close to my gear score. Yep, I'll be 319, 407. Then I need to either Kafir my Kudum or buy pin Black Star offhand. Yeah, I think I'm Kafir level 7 so far. I think I was gonna get it to Kafir level 15, but I had like, gosh, I can't even remember, 8,000 Kafir stones like saved up, but I ended up selling them all. So I was like, yep, there goes that. Because I think that's like when the accessories dropped. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to sell all these Kafir stones to get more money. I'm 0 at the moment, been holding out. Gotcha. Yeah, I think getting to level 7 is fairly easy for the most part. I think like once you get like past level 15, I think like the return on stats becomes a lot less. I still have yet to get my 200%. No way. Are you serious? like 4,500 Caphras. It's 1 AP, 2 TP. Yeah. Yeah, it's not much. It's something though. I think once you get to Caphra level 15, I think you get 1 more AP and 1 more or 2 more DP. I think. Something like that. And I think once you get to like Caphra level 20, it gives you like another DP or something like that. It's just so much money for like so minimal stats. That's why I haven't really went past 7. Max is 2 AP, 6 DP. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I think I think it's level 15 is when you get that other AP. Oh, it's 14. Okay, 14. I mean, it's not bad. 2 AP, 4 DP, but whew, it's a lot of silver. A lot of silver sink. Also, I wonder what they're gonna do with the offhand. Like, because now we have our armors, right? It's kind of like that dead god. And then you have the sovereign weapons. Now we have like the in-game accessories, but they haven't like touched the offhand at all yet. 2 AP gets me the 321 bracket, which I want, but it's like 30 billion silver. Ooh, 30 billion silver for Caphras. That's a lot. Probably gonna do the sovereign weapons on offhand too. Yeah, I would assume that would be the idea. But I guess it's tricky though, because you have Kudum and you have Nuver. Like, do you think they'll just combine both stats? That'd be kind of nice, honestly. Because it'd be kind of annoying having to like pay 1 or 2 billion every time if you want to like switch. So either C20 or PMBS is gonna be needed. Yeah. Yep, you're probably right. Gosh, these skill animations are so cool. I will say though, it is a lot. It's a lot to the eyes. I need to like remember to click my E buff since I'm so not used to not doing it. What does the E buff give you? Extra AP monster, all AP. That's pretty good. Wait, can you always keep this buff up? If you rotate? Huh. That is kind of neat if that's the case. Isn't that cool? I pop the buff every boss spawn so I don't forget. Yeah. Or at least make sure it's on CD. Yeah, cooldown. Yeah, I've been missing out on a lot of damage potential then. Oh wait. Oh, that's, I guess that's this this in-game or this grinding spots buff. Okay, boss is up. Yeah, he definitely kills him faster, that's for sure. Aww. Really? Was it not in protection? I've got knocked down by him quite a few times. Let's see. What do you get? AP 30, critical, hit rate plus 50%. It does seem like these drop pretty frequently, the wands. I can't believe I didn't get a single 200% this hour. Kind of sucks. Ah. No, stop teleporting. Or maybe I'll get it this time. I think I might have gotten more trash this time. Ride with me, let's take the tide. Alright, light the night, taming wild centaurs flight. Climb till dawn, we'll fight. In the game, we're burning bright. Come on, come on, come on, come on. 200%, 2%. Still nothing. Huh. Uh-uh. I've only ever gotten 4 of them before in an hour. But you got 4 200% in an hour? That's kind of nuts. All right, how much trash loot did I get that time? I gotta rewind back my stream to see where I started at. Are you getting more? Are you getting more than 4 an hour? Wait. Oh yeah, I'm confused. Are you getting more than 4 an hour? What am I getting more than 4 an hour? You talking about 200%? Am I getting more? Am I getting 4 200%? I'm lucky to get 1 200%, if that's what we're talking about. All right, how much trash do I have? 38 470. Let's see. 64 924 minus 38. No retreat, no goodbye. Through the battles we stand tall. 470. I got 26.5k trash. Let me see. So it's kind of pretty similar to what I've been averaging. I think if I had the demi-human damage set up, I think that would help for sure. Let's see. So 26,454. 314. 209. 16. One of those. 4 of the lower tier crystals. Oh, you're talking about the crystals. Honestly, this is my 3rd hour. My first hour only got 1 crystal. My second hour, I got 2 of the lower tier crystals, and then this hour I got 2 lower tier crystals. So I've been averaging like 1 to 2 crystals an hour somehow. I'm lucky to get 1 an hour. Yeah, I guess I've been getting some decent RNG with the crystals. I'll show you here in a second what my 3 hours have looked like so far. Let's see. One, 16, 209. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. All right. So this is what I've been averaging. Oh no, wait, I take that back. No, my first hour I got 2 crystals. Second hour I got 3. And then this past hour I got 2 as well. That's not bad though. I mean, for 800 silver an hour, like that's not bad for being so chill. Like, that's pretty good. Yeah. Like, let's see what global says. 28. I'm pretty close to the average. That's why I'm here, just chilling. Could go to Gaifa and make a bit more. Yeah. I mean, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's actually really not that bad. And then you have that rare chance of actually getting the bond version. They also have faint origins at like 1 and 4 to drop. Oh, that's true. They do have that. I wonder how that's got to be super rare though. I haven't had a single one of those drop yet. I wonder what the drop rate on that is. Every 3 hours. Well, I've done 3 hours so far and I haven't got one. So wait, how many hours have you put into this grind spot? Like, have you got any of these? Well, there it says 3. I've been seeing closer to 4. Okay, so for sure, my next hour, I will get one, right? I'm about 20 hours in with 5 of those drops. Huh. Have you got any like the rare crystals? Like any of the bonds? Oh my gosh, every 73 hours? No way. 100 hours? You got one bond? 118 hours? Gosh. It is weird. It seems like the AP one drops more frequently than the other ones. That's all. That's a lot of hours. Yeah, they're rare. Yeah, I can see that. Jeez. Huh. Storage. Well, that's an easy 700 million just chilling right there. Didn't even know I even had that in my storage there. What else is in my storage? Oh, look, there's another one. I should really convert those, huh? There's 4 forest crystals? Wait, what? So I have 5 force crystals I need to convert. 2 of the decimation. I'm not really sure how much the bitterness is selling for, or the darkness. I gotta see how expensive those are to make. I think the Crimson Flame is selling for like 300,000. I don't know what they convert for though. You have 11 decimate. What? It converts into this. I mean, you would only need, I mean, that's an easy like 400 million plus. Let me see. Hold on. Because you just need the flame. Shards are like 2 mil a piece. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Hold on, let's calculate it. Let's see. So 285. Let's see. Yeah, profit margin. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Let's see. Yeah, so I have 5 of those. So, all right, magical shard, you need 50. So 200. Let's see here. So plus 300 or 279. Blackstones are pretty cheap. Magical lightstone crystals. I mean, that's pretty cheap too. Okay. Must be hearing stuff. Thought my kiddo was waking up. So if you take account all your base are belong to us. What up? What up? How many spots are there? Is there only 2 spots? Should be more than that, right? There's plenty of spots. We can share. Oh, there's 7? Oh, plenty of spots. Okay, so if we take a look at just the Crimson Flame and the magical shards, you're looking at potentially around 379 million. That's not including the magical lightstone crystals, which I'm trying to think. Like, hold on, let's see. Can't remember how many you get. I think it's like 4 or 5 when you turn one of the lightstones in, I think. They made a title that referenced the meme. I thought it was funny. Oh, you're talking about the title. I did actually get that title. Yeah. Hold on. I wonder if I can find it. Yeah, actually, I just got it this past hour. I guess I could search it, huh? It's at the very bottom. Gosh, there's so many titles. I know I got it. I thought I got it. Did I not get it? Oh, was I looking at the wrong one? Oh my gosh. Don't judge me. That's so good. See, I really like my title, the Vengeance one. That was a special one to the that one event. Was it the Mysteries event or whatever it was back in 2021? I think, or 2020, 2021. That was some hard effort to get that title. Yeah, I didn't even really recognize the title when it popped up my last hour. Like I saw it, but I didn't really read it. Let's see. I use chaotic. That would make sense. Hence your name. Let's see. Let's do one of these. We'll do one of these. See how many you get. Let's see. Exchange. Okay, so you get 10. 10, so you need 10 of those times, we'll say what, 5 million? So 50 million plus 279 plus what, 100 million, give or take. So what title do you use other than depressed to describe the game? It's a good question. I'm sure there's a title for that. I'm sure there is a title for that. Hey, but Divios and Choice, they got flown out. They're gonna fix the game. All right. Magic shards are over 3 million now. Oh wait, are they? When I did my Gaha's Bandits video, those things were selling for like 300,000. Like, just imagine if you would have bought all of those up and then resold those. Oh my gosh, the amount of money you could have made. Like, who would have figured? Also, I don't know why I put shards in there. Oh, you can just buy the magical shards straight out. And that's something. Yeah, I've been just hoarding mine. Hindsight's 2020. Yeah. Yeah, they are 3 million. That's nuts. Oh, what? Look at that. They're still going up higher. Look at that. Look at that. Just imagine if you would have bought those right here. Oh, and then just resold them. Gosh. Who would have figured? Who would have figured? Yeah, they are driving them up. Yep. They're 3.2 million. Yeah, that makes things a little bit more interesting. So 160 million plus 279 plus 50. So 489 million. Or what are we at? So roughly, I don't know, let's just say 500 million. So 500 million, and the crystal sells for 703, 5 million. Do the market tax. So you're looking at 210 million. Watch them crash in 3 months' time. They probably will crash, you're right. Maybe. Yeah, they probably will. I mean, because once you get your crystal or your accessory, there's really no, like, you don't really need them, right? Wait, you said you have 11 of those, right? Let's see. Is it 740 minus 500 times that by 0.84? All right, so 201 million. And you said you have 11 of those? $628. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see. Having fun. Oh yeah, doing math is always fun. Gosh, I took physics back in college. Oh my gosh. I hated that class. Physics is definitely not my cup of tea. That's for sure. What are you trying to do? Oh, we're just looking at the like the profit margin for making these crystals here. Because Mr. Chaotic has 11 of these. Not worth. I don't believe so. Yeah, I mean, you'll still come out somewhat in the positive, I guess, as long as you're not going into the negatives. Yeah, 1.4 billish. Yeah. Nice name. I know, right? I agree. It's a pretty cool name. Yep. Yep. That would make a huge difference. Huge difference. Yeah. So it would be I think, hold on, let me see. I think it was at 100 and, so if you do 740 times that by 0.84, you get 621 million, subtract 500 million, so you're at 121 million. Yeah, so 121 million times that by 11, you're looking at 1.3 billion. So, but how long that will take you to convert those crystals? I mean, it wouldn't take you no longer than an hour. Maybe like 20 minutes. Merchant ring isn't much difference. It's a pretty terrible item. There's something that does the math for you on tax. There's something that does the math for you on tax. Yeah, I think the merchant ring only gives you like, what, another 1 or 2% or something like that. It's not really worth the amount of hours you sink into it. What's your gear? My gear is 319 AP, 410 DP. Oh, 5%. 5%. Yeah, I think once you, it does add up. Like, especially if it's a large ticket item. Like, I know, especially like if you're selling, like, because I think Biohacks, right, when he did all of his enhancing, like, it was really huge for him, because when he would sell like his accessories, like pin accessories or whatever it may be, like that 5% makes a huge difference for sure. But yeah, this is my gear. Not enough people losing crystals to buy them, honestly. Yeah. Did it cancel the link? You'll never get back the money you lose grinding for it. I'm 763. All right. Mr. Big Eyed Bob, you are a Chad for sure. Gosh, 763. Yeah, you know, just sitting in my good old pleb. What was that, 729 gear score? I don't know about a chat, but I trolled the other geared players. I'm hated. You're not hated, you're loved. You get more by looking at certain, yeah, exactly, certain accessories for sure. Pulled 27.5k trash this hour while talking to you. Not bad. That's actually pretty good. I didn't even reach 27, and I was like actually trying to grind. I don't know about a Chad, but oh yeah, that 343 AP, 420. That's a lot of AP there. Jeez, 343 AP. Ooh. Disses are good for money. Like money per AP. Yeah, that's the thing. Because like if I try to go for the earring accessory, like getting it to, I think what, Tet is like 16 AP. So I'm essentially losing 4 AP. So it's like the downside. $343 still grinding. Tongue grad. Worth 100%. Yeah, I tried tongue grad. Was not averaging very high trash. Pin is 17. Pretty easy to get. Okay, so pin is 17. All right. So yeah. So I would lose like 2 AP. And the accessories, you get the crystal slots. That's the thing. Yeah, you get the crystal slots. Yep. 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 Yeah, I think for me, I want to get my Sovereign Awakening weapon to pin, and then I'll probably try to get the earrings. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's just trying to get there. Trying to save up the silver for it. Crons, crons, crons. I'm about to troll these people with my 280 AP, 358 DP. Yeah, I'm at pin, earrings, pin ring, hex belt. But neck, just have to go sovereign weapons now. What BA? Number 1. Control me. Just have to go sovereign weapons now. But need the pin BS. She prefer. Wait, so you don't have any sovereign weapons yet? Yeah, once you get the sovereign weapons, then yeah, you're gonna be cracked. Oh yeah, balance straight. Oh yeah, big damage. Just tickling. I'm over here now. This is chaotic. Yo, yo, yo. Oh, that's a rip. Can I send a link? Can't send Garmin. What BA? Yeah, hold on. Oh, I'm in BA1. Let's see. Oh gosh. How do I change these settings? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Let's see. Change. Messages. See, stupid settings here in Twitch. Mod actions. Oh, wait, is it moderation maybe? Oh, here, maybe this is what it is. Let's see. Never mind, refreshed and let me. That would be something though, wouldn't it? I don't know why. Yeah, so I don't even have that enabled. Like the block messages like that. That's so weird. Huh. I don't know why, like what. That's so weird. Let's see. Oh, what did it just do? Apparently can't DM you either. Oh, we gotta love Twitch. Oh my goodness. Huh. Let's see. You guys invite you to join the party. I need to figure out my. I don't know why that's blocking that. I think you can still see it. Yeah, that's so annoying. I don't know why it's like that. Chat settings. All right, hold on. All right, let me type this in. All right, let's see. Garmoth character CM Z8 Z 4 Oh, maybe it's through. Oh, maybe it's through my bot rigs. Maybe that's what it is. I don't think it's through Twitch. I think it's through bot Ricks. And that's something. All right, let me see. HTTPS. Arma.com. Yeah, I have a Discord. Yeah, that might be easier. Hold on, let me see. It's good, don't remove. Yeah, I need to figure out how to give someone permission though to do a link. Let's see. Hold on, give me a second. All right. Let's see. All right, I think I sent you a friend request. All right. I'm assuming you're the unknown adventurer. Oh, look, I'm tickling you. I'm in your party. Oh, you are in my party. Or I'm in your party. What class are you? Ah, okay. Oh, whoa, check those eyes out. Hello. Oh, you just disappeared. Let's see. Okay, why is that not working? Apparently I can't spell that right. All right. Okay, I got something up. Oh, okay. This is chaotics. Dang, you got the thing to 8 or 7. 2 ball shoes. That's so funny. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because yeah, because mine, I have all try for my armors. Yeah, you definitely have more. Or wait, how do you not have more AP than me? Yeah, how do you wait? What? What are you running? Kudum? How do you not have? I guess because of the 2 of these, but still, that should offset. I'm so confused on how we have the same AP. Huh. Okay. That's not nice. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, thanks. Thanks for coming in clutch. Gosh, those odds are so cool. Well, you have the 2 there and the C7 Kudum, which is 1 more AP. Yeah, but stuff like you, I mean, the necklace gives you 3 more AP. The rings, you have like essentially 3 more AP. Look at my gear. Last I can cry. Wait, did you? All right, let's see how big of a Chad this person is here. Mr. Big Eyed Bob. Oh. Oh. Duo? You're slacking. Already slacking. Wait, am I seeing that right? There ain't no way. Are you kidding me right now? Wow. Look at chat. Oh, I have it. Hold on. Edit. Look at that. The rich merchant ring. No flexing. uh Remember Musa? Oh man. I still have 0 treasure items other than the potions, which aren't really treasure items anymore. Yeah, I don't have any as well. Just the potion items for me as well. Yep. One day I'll go grind them out. No, you won't. Don't lie to yourself. I want the compass telescope. Yeah, it'd be really nice to have. Down with the telescope pretty bad. Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, if you do bow content, that would be really nice to have. Maybe one day. Yeah, I'll join your server. All right. On that note, once I get my boots back, I'm probably going to start grinding Dekia History. Gosh, I haven't been there in a while. Yeah, I don't even know how many hours that will take. Probably too many. All right, well, it is 12:33 and I got to wake up at 6. So, I'm going to hit the sack. It was nice talking to y'all. Chaotic, thanks for hanging out pretty much the entire time and chilling. And Mr. Big Eye Bob, it's a pleasure to meet you as well. Alex, if you're still in here, hope you have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah. And I'll catch y'all next time. I'm probably going to grind. I'm not really sure what my schedule looks like tomorrow, but probably going to take a look at the other Land of the Morning Light spot, which I definitely don't have the AP for, but it is what it is. So, good stuff. All right. We all have a good day tomorrow. See. Okay. All right. Peace, peace.